Hola BRT, welcome to today's video. We're going to put you down there temporarily as we get ourselves ready for dinner here tonight. Okay, so what's today's topic? Well, you saw the title. Search of that perfect trucking job. Let's move you again over to here. So yeah, in search of the perfect trucking job. Well, I've said it once, and I'll say it twice, I've said it 3 times, because I seem to always get the comments of, oh, this company's crap, but this company's better, and then you hear from somebody else that says, oh, that company's crap, but this company's better. Okay, so here's the deal. It's a loaded question. You know, I see it all the time on the Facebook page is, what's the best company to go work for? Again, it's a loaded question. And I'll tell you why in a second, as soon as I put my food in the cooker. By the way, this is going to be a long one. Not today. We're going to split it up in a couple of parts. And the reason being is because it's a long one. Alright, so, while Madam's eating down there, let's talk this over here. Guys, this is not just restricted to the new guys. It's restricted to everybody. Not restricted. It applies to everybody. When looking for that company, whether you have experience or not experience, let's say you have your training all done, blah, 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 and you're looking for that perfect company. You have a few years experience, whatever. Or you're just out looking around. First off, don't fall into the recruiter traps, okay? They will tell you or sell you on whatever it is you want to hear just to get you on board. There are a shitload of companies out there, and they're all short on drivers. They all need drivers. Driver turnover is amazing. Now, if you guys are looking at the big companies, we're not talking the mom and paws. Mom and paws are more local to the area that you are. If you go to a mom and pa company and you live in Twin Falls, Idaho, and they're out of New Jersey, you could be into some trouble. Okay? So, I said it before. Make yourself a list, guys, of what's important to you. Home time, average miles per week, how much being paid, what is the accessorial pay? I don't even say that right. Accessory pay. That means extra. You know, drops, hooks, if you're flatbed, you know, tarping, chaining, etc. What kind of equipment are you going to be driving? How old is that equipment? These are all things that could play a factor into who you go work for. Now, here is one of the big things that a lot of people make the mistake on. Is they call the company up and they say, I live in, just shooting this out there, I don't even know if this place exists, Buck Falls, Montana. And they're calling a company that's based out of St. Louis, Missouri, let's say. I live in Buck Falls, Montana. Do you hire people from this area? Most places, depending on what side of the country they drive to, or if they drive the whole thing, will say, oh yeah, sure, no problem. A lot of places will say that. What you should be asking is, I live in Buck Falls, Montana, which is probably in the middle of nowhere, and nobody's ever heard of it or seen it on a map. So give them a close proximity of where that is. Or let's even get better, it's a major city. You live in Twin Falls, Idaho. Is there a place? Twin Falls, Idaho? I don't know. Anyways, major city. Doesn't matter what it is. Say, this is where I live. Am I going to get home? A lot of recruiters will say, oh yeah, we have loads that go through there all the time. Usually that's where a driver stops and says, oh great, they come through here all the time. What you should be asking, is it a dedicated lane? So what happens is the recruiter will tell you, oh yeah, we got loads going through there all the time, but what they're not telling you is it's a dedicated account, dedicated lane that goes there, and they're dedicated drivers. So if you find out, yes, it is dedicated, and some recruiters will say, yeah, we do have dedicated accounts there, and we have dedicated lanes going through there all the time. You'll get home, you know, quite often. That's a two-sided edged sword there anyways. But fine, the next question should be, okay, if it's dedicated, as a new driver, would I be able to get on that dedicated lane? Or is this a run that I could do? A lot of times they'll say, oh yeah, no problem, we should be able to get you on that. Right now we're currently full, but we get openings all the time, so we should be able to get you on there. That should be a red flag right there, okay? Because they could get you on it a week after you get there. It could be 6 months. So meanwhile, you have to go do other shit, and you'll never get home. This thing about drivers not getting home every 2, 3, 4 months is just baffles the crap out of me. There's no excuse for any company to not get you home. Now, this is where it falls on you. If you pick a company to go work for that doesn't do that area, well, then it's on you. You can't expect them to get you home if they don't do that area, or if they only go there once in a while. A lot of guys say, well, I see trucks go through here all the time. Well, just because they go through there doesn't mean they can get you there. Got to remember, delivery times play a huge factor. You know, you pick up a load and you're going and you're going to drive right past the house, but the problem is it's got such a tight delivery schedule, there's no time to stop at the house. You got to get to where it's delivering to. Okay? A lot of guys think, oh, they can send me home from there afterwards. Not necessarily. Okay? So, that's one of the big questions, and when it deals with home time and looking for that perfect company, is be very specific about where you live. Be very specific about the questions you ask as to whether they can get you there and what their home time policy is. We go through there all the time, doesn't always cut it with me. Okay? So you guys know I go home roughly every second weekend. Lately I've been staying out a little bit longer, but that's due to either doctor's appointments, and currently, you know, Jess going to England and whatnot, so I'm staying out the extra week so I can be home when we send her off. But you need that flexibility. If home time is important to you and you need to get home, you know, fairly regular, then this needs to be a priority and a priority question into finding that company that's going to be perfect for you. And you guys have to remember, not all companies are created equal. Not all companies, what's good for me is not going to be good for you necessarily. So you have to, and asking other people, what's a good company to go work for? Well, if I'm working for them, I'm going to tell you, hey, there's a good company to work for, come work for them. And then, you know, I just had that happen. A buddy of mine came here, but it wasn't good for him. It wasn't a good fit. It's not that they're a bad company, it just wasn't a good fit for him for what he wanted. So you got to be very specific on those questions that you're asking. The other one is, you know, equipment. What's in the equipment? What can you do? You know, a lot of companies restrict drivers from putting inverters in them, in the trucks. So that's one of the questions. Does the truck have an inverter in it? Because a lot of guys are going to want electrical appliances, whether it be TVs, computers, cooking things like a microwave, etc. And if the truck isn't equipped with an inverter, then there's some of those things that, you know, you can't have. I mean, yes, you can still have your computer because you can get the 12-volt inverters, which no company can restrict you from. They can only restrict you from the hardwired inverters, okay, which is the bigger ones. A lot of guys say, oh, my company doesn't allow inverters, so I can't have this. No, you can. If it plugs into the 12-volt, you can do it, okay? A lot of companies don't have issues with that. They can't have issues with it. It's a 12-volt, okay? The truck is equipped for that. The reason a lot of companies don't allow the hardwired inverters is because drivers have been known to burn trucks down by either putting in faulty wiring or not making sure it's fused properly, trying to install it themselves, and just fucking up a lot of other things. Pardon the language. So that needs to be another maybe important question for you. You know, how do you plan on living on the road? Do you want to cook in the truck all the time, or do you want to go eat in the truck stops and spend a fortune? You know, those have got to be a big factor right there, you know, as to what kind of equipment you can take with you. If you don't have an inverter, you're not going to obviously be able to bring a microwave. And I don't have a microwave in here, I opted out to use the microwave spot for storage, because I cook very rarely in the microwave. However, I do have my electric little burner. I do have the butane burner. I have my Burton stove down there, which is currently cooking. I've got, what the hell else do I got? Oh, I got my egg sandwich maker thingy. Runs off the inverter. I got a 1,000-watt inverter in here. It came with the truck. So it's another important question, okay? Don't just assume that they're going to have it. You've got to ask it. It may seem like a simple question, but you got to ask it. you know, and then the equipment thing. That's the other big one. We'll wrap this part up with this one, the equipment thing, the truck. What kind of truck am I going to drive? Oh, we've got 2015s coming in all the time. Brand new trucks coming in with this, blah, blah, blah. No. What kind of truck am I going to drive? I'm a new guy coming onto the company. What kind of truck are you offering me? What happens is a lot of times is those, because you could turn around and say, oh, I'm going to get a 2015. Great. I'm going to go work for that company. And then you get there and they say, oh, we don't have any available right now. So we're going to have to give you this other truck. You're going to have to take with whatever's available. And that's their take. And a lot of companies do this. They advertise brand new 2015, 2016 trucks arriving daily. Come get yours now. Chances are you're not going to get one. Okay? Yes, some companies you will. You get the luck of the draw. A lot of times you're not. You're the new guy coming on. A lot of times the new trucks coming in are getting cycled out with the older trucks, which means those older drivers that have been in those older trucks are going to jump into the new ones. The older ones are going to go away. There are some medium trucks. I call them medium trucks. They're in the middle of the pack type deal, older trucks. Those are the ones you're going to get. You may even get put into one of those older ones that a driver just came out of to get into a new one until they get you something more suitable. And God knows what's wrong with it, okay? The brand new trucks have inverters and fridges, but the old ones didn't. They just made that policy change, so you're going to have to put up with, you know, out it. So you got to be very specific. What truck am I going to drive? And if you do decide on that company, you specifically tell them, okay, you advertised a brand new truck. I want to claim mine now. I will come work for you, but only if I get a brand new truck. And you make them put that in the contract that you're going to sign, because a lot of times they'll send you, I believe they did with me, they'll send you the paper to sign and you send it back to them. And I tell them, this is what I want. I knew when I came to Celadon that I wasn't going to get a brand new truck. I knew they had some in, but she told me, and I told her, I said, don't bullshit me. Don't tell me you have a new truck. And I get there and you don't give me one. She says, well, we've only got a couple left and chances are you're going to get an older one. I said, that's fine. I know now in advance that I'm going to get an older one coming there. And that's when I also was told, you know, get the oldest one there and then you'll be the first in line to get a new one. And then I ended up with my 2013, as you guys know, at the time. But anyway, so that's got to be an important question too for you guys. The type of equipment, how old is the equipment going to be, etc., etc. Because you hear it all the time. Guys get into older trucks and they do nothing but complain. That's all I hear is the complaints about how crappy this truck is. What a garbage company. How dare they give me a truck like this? They promised me something new. Did they honestly promise you something new, or did you just assume you were going to get something new? Remember, sales tactics. That's what they tell you. Oh yeah, we've got new ones coming in all the time. Beware. Okay, so we're just going to wrap this one up here today. Yeah, we're at 12 minutes, so that's a long video for you guys. Come on, don't complain. Okay, there's going to be a part 2 to this. There's more to it. You know, so keep notes, guys. There's a lot of questions, a lot of things you got to get into asking in order to find that perfect job for you. What's perfect for me, what's perfect for the next guy, is not necessarily going to be perfect for you. Till next time, we'll see you in part 2.